There's a space specifically designed and set aside for each of us. It's a space in our minds, in our hearts, in our bodies, and in all other aspects of who and what we are. This is a sacred space that we were made to occupy. It's our birthright, and that space is surprisingly vast. It's our dwelling. I don't know that I've ever fully occupied my own self, but so far the parts that I have occupied are a surprisingly spacious world and a perfect fit. So while most of us only occupy a portion of ourselves, we have this opportunity to bring the light of our very beings into all the dark corners of the person that we've been given. When we set parts of ourselves free, they become activated. We bring them into relationship, and we become more integrated, more healthy, more whole, and we have even more of what we need to live this life well. And from there, we're able to actually venture beyond our own sacred space and bring that light that is ourselves into the world around us. In this sense, we're naturally offensive beings. Once we possess our own domains and bring peace to our inner kingdoms, then we're able to actually affect the world around us with the light of our very existence. Now here's where it gets complicated. There's this Christian idea that we're born into sin, and if that's true, then the sin we're born into is simply the belief that we are not okay. The belief that we are inherently bad for ourselves or others or both. Not everyone who believes this knows they believe it, but it's really common if we haven't experienced our true selves. And it's often so deeply ingrained in us that we can't see it, but it reveals itself in the way we live our lives. Here's an example. When we don't know who we are, we don't know that we're inherently good beings. We feel like we don't deserve the wonderful world of our own minds, of our own bodies, of our own selves. We feel like we don't deserve to occupy the sacred space that has been given to us. We feel unworthy of the treasure that we've been given. And when we feel this way, we allow ideas or emotions or even people to come into us and occupy a space that was designed specifically for us. We allow things to come in and push us out of our own kingdoms, our own homes. And we find ourselves surrendering this birthright that was never meant to be overrun. It was never meant to be outside of our protection, outside of our control. So we end up retreating into smaller parts of ourselves, places that we feel like we do deserve, or at least places that we're willing to occupy until something comes along and convinces us to give up that part of ourselves too. And so when we don't know the truth about who we are, when we're not aware of the goodness that is built into the fabric of our very existence, we may be willing to give over every aspect of ourselves to a thought or a feeling or a cause or a system that can convince us that it's more equipped to occupy us than we are, that it has more of a right to possess us than our own consciousness. The crazy thing is that we'll actively participate in building systems to control us and occupy us because deep down we don't believe that we should have the freedom to control ourselves. That we can't be trusted with our own freedom, and certainly the people around us shouldn't be trusted with theirs either. So we create systems to possess us. And the people that run these systems are happy to do this work. They want our minds. And one of the reasons that they want our minds is to distract themselves from how much they hate their own existence, how much they despise themselves, because they suffer from the same misunderstanding that we do, that they are not okay.
I'm in Italy.
And they use power to cope with the feelings that come from that. The end result is a true disease, a true pandemic, and it's one that's existed for all of recorded history. It's a series of generations of men and women experiencing shadow lives. It's kings and queens living in small corners of kingdoms that they were meant to rule. And these kings and queens have subjugated themselves and their children and their descendants to other people or systems or entities that were willing to come in and take over and run the world that was their very birthright, that was their inheritance. This surrendering of our birthright eventually leads to absolute subjugation and imprisonment, because those willing to operate the systems that we've invited to rule over us will take possession of everything if given a chance. They're not going to wait for permission if they have the power to do what they want. Right now is a really important time to understand how all of this works, because we're living in a time where the ownership of our lives is being challenged. So here's what I want to say. Don't be pushed into a corner of your own mind or body. Don't allow anyone or any ideas or any form of media or feelings to possess you. Don't diminish yourself. Don't let anyone diminish you. Don't recoil. Don't retreat. We all have a right to exist just as we are. We are sacred ground. We are light. And the world benefits from us shining. It benefits from our impact, from the impressions that we make in it. It is good for you to leave your unique mark on this world and not just let it leave its mark on you. So in this time of disease and pandemic and fear and all this talk, don't let anyone define you as being a carrier or a non-carrier, as being a contagion or a non-contagion. Because the only options you're given in that scenario is being a bad thing or a neutral thing. Where's the good option in that? Where's the healer identifier? The underlying message is that there are only two types of people: the dirty and infectious, or the clean and infectable. That's no sense of offense. That's not what we were created for. That's not the occupation of the kingdoms, the birthright that we've been given. Where's the option of being clean and effectual? We know that the world wants us to believe that when dirty things touch clean things, those clean things become dirty. But the truth that's deeper than all of that is that when clean things touch dirty things, the dirty things become clean. That's offense. That's the creative, loving, effectual force that we are, that operates within us. You see, the underlying message that's being transmitted, whether it's intentional or diabolical or not, is that we are bad for the world. That even when you don't know it, you're dangerous, you're contagious, you can't be trusted with your own well-being or those around you. And that if given the chance, if left up to your own judgment, you will hurt yourself and those around you. That you carry something or potentially carry something that could hurt or kill others. So in light of the identity pandemic that has been taking place in the world since the beginning of recorded history, do you see how deep this message goes? Do you see what core beliefs it plays upon? When we don't know the goodness that is innately within us, we are a house of cards waiting for a situation just like this to cause us to crumble. If I don't know the truth of who I am, I fold without resistance because it's always been within me to do so. It's like if I don't know who I am, then I feel like I'm living my life as a fraud, and I'm just waiting for someone to come and pull back the curtain to show the true me that's behind the veil of usefulness or validation that I've been living all this time. And many of us want a moment like this. Even subconsciously, we cause these moments to happen. This is what self-destruction is. We take opportunities to be exposed as frauds because we deeply believe that we are frauds. And we just want the game to stop. We get tired of playing it. We want a personal audit to take place. We want some honesty because we'd rather be real and exposed than keep faking being okay, because we don't realize we are okay. It's actually a form of insanity. Even the parts of our own kingdoms that we possess, that we occupy, we feel like frauds for possessing and occupying because we don't realize we're the kings and the queens of this land. So we're hiding in corners, hoping to not be exposed, but when we are, we happily surrender what is left of ourselves. But the truth is that every beautiful thing you've ever experienced You've only enjoyed it because it resonated with something beautiful that is already inside of you. The simple desire to have beauty in our lives is proof that we are naturally beautiful creations. You're the one that the poetry speaks of. You're the one that all this music is for. So how are you feeling right now with all this talk about the virus? With all the scare tactics from the media, with all the fear that's going around? Are you feeling a little pushed out of your own space? Do you feel like you're being aggressed against by forces outside of you that want to tell you how to feel, tell you what to think, tell you how to perceive yourself, tell you that you're dangerous, that you're contagious, that you're inherently bad for the planet and the people around you? Do you feel like there's something that isn't you that is fighting to occupy you, your space? Is your gut tight? Is your chest tight? Do you feel like you're pulling away from and abandoning parts of your own physical body? Do you feel like your existence is being threatened? Do you feel like you even deserve to be one of the ones that survives? Do you feel like you even deserve to keep your job? Are you afraid of being exposed? That maybe you're not necessary at work anymore? Do you feel like you even deserve to be able to support yourself or your family? Or are you holding your own space? Are you occupying what's yours with conviction, knowing that you deserve to be present, that you deserve to be at ease, that this is yours and it's no one else's? This is your domain, your birthright, your space. You have every right to be at ease. You have every right to be at peace. From this perspective, can you see what wickedness is? Do you see just how many systems outside of ourselves are fighting to possess us, that want to own us, that want us to believe in them more than we believe in ourselves, that want us to trust them for our lives more than we trust ourselves? They want possession. But this is our opportunity to get right, to take possession of our own bodies, our minds, every part of ourselves, to fill the kingdom that I've been given, that you've been given, with our own consciousness. I believe the root of all evil is the belief that we are not okay, that we are not made in the image of a loving, whole, infinite, creative God, but we are. And every system, whether government or media or advertising or religion, that profits from us not being at ease with ourselves, that profits from us feeling less than, or needy, or incomplete, every system that promotes this and profits from it is evil. Every system that tries to take space in our minds and in our emotions and in our bodies, that tries to force us out of our own existence, is evil. But every aspect of ourselves that we have been given is a beautiful gift. Every aspect of who we are. And it's up to us to learn to occupy and accept them all. To learn to commune with ourselves and the nature of God that's within us, not to surrender them. I often find that I'm unconsciously apologizing for my existence, and I've gotten so used to it that I don't even notice it, but there's always signs. It's the unease. It's the desire to have background noise, to stay busy, to listen to somebody else narrate life for me, to tell me what it's supposed to be like, or how I should feel about a particular situation, or how to interpret it, what it all means. It's the feeling of boredom. These are all indicators. When any of these things are happening, I stop and I say, I exist and I am not sorry. I deserve to participate in this life and in this world. And I feel myself open up. I start to expand. I start to take back the space that's rightfully mine. Never apologize for your existence, especially in a time like this, when things are trying to tell you you should be sorry that you even exist. You're bad for the world. You're a contagion. Do not apologize for your existence. There is no one more worthy to occupy your domain, your space, than you. No one is more equipped to reign over your kingdom than you are. Everyone is trying to figure out what's coming. Everyone is trying to see the future, to know what to do. But until we get right, until we establish ourselves in the domain that we've been given, we're not going to be able to see through the smokescreen that's being thrown up right now. Until we get right, everything that we're throwing at this, all the energy we're putting into it, is just a lot of brain work, it's a lot of guessing, it's calculations, and hoping that we're on the right track. But none of it is the truth if we don't possess our own space. And even if we guess right, it's of no value if we continue to give ourselves over to forces that don't deserve to occupy us. It's of no value to gain the world and still give over our souls. So we may not be able to literally see the future, but when we get right, we are able to see through the lies, the fear, and the agenda, and see the path forward for ourselves. We can see our part to play. We can see if it's time to sit or if it's time to stand, time to rest or time to fight. We can see if it's time to care for ourselves or others. It's up to each of us to get right, to see the path for us, and to choose it. So here's how I see it. In times like this, there are two incredibly powerful words that represent two incredibly powerful actions. And those words are yes and no. I am not a burden on this planet. No, I will not partner with forces that are trying to possess parts of me and implant thoughts or feelings in me that I don't want. No, I will not listen. No, I will not watch. No, I will not participate in the lies, in the system, in the falseness.
So, this is where you'll find the fucking Pope. I guess you can go into the Church of St. Peter, the Dome of St. Peter, whatever. But you have to wait in line and maybe pay money. The Dome can pay money and wait in line to see me. I'm done here.
No, I will not retreat into smaller and smaller parts of myself and give myself over to something else. And I will not treat myself or others as anything less than sacred events that are taking place on this planet right now. No, I will not adopt an identity of being a carrier or a contagion. I will not be told that I'm bad for this world or the people around me. I will not accept that I'm inherently dangerous even when I don't know it. That's not who I am. And from a clear and easy mind, from a place of love for myself and others, I may choose to keep my distance from others for a while. But I won't be told that this is what I deserve. And this is not a wedge that will be driven between me and my okayness. I will not be told that the best gift I have to give others is the absence of my presence. And since I personally feel that those that run the government have proven themselves to be untrustworthy too many times, one of my no's is no, I will not let you put chemicals into my body that I am not comfortable with. You don't have that right, and I'm not giving you permission. And anyone that thinks that they have the right to take possession of or infect any part of me will quickly find that they are mistaken. And if that means that I can't participate in your schools, your jobs, your groups, then fine. I will partner with others like me, that respect themselves, that own themselves, and are willing to say no to those that wish to aggress against them. And no, I will not let you decide what I'm going to be afraid of. If I choose fear, I choose it from my own free will. I'm a work in progress, and sometimes I choose fear because I haven't fully learned how to trust myself. I accept that too. And if I haven't fully taken control over my dominion, my thoughts, my feelings, that doesn't mean I'm inherently bad. It just means I'm still working on it. It is an incredibly powerful act to say yes to ourselves, to say yes to love, To say, yes, I deserve to be here. Yes, I deserve to be a part of what is happening. I have a place in good times, and I have a place in the bad times. I have a place here. This is our chance to get right. What's been meant as a time of turmoil, confusion, fear, and separation is actually this gracious opportunity to see the result of living lives when part of us is given over to others' control. This is a gracious opportunity to see what doesn't work, to change course, to kick out the invading forces that occupy us, to take possession of ourselves, and to be capable of thriving in good times and in bad times. In times like this, it is a revolutionary act to know who we are and to take ownership of ourselves, to take possession of our birthright, to control our own thoughts, our own feelings. And I think that you'll find even having peace of mind will be very offensive to some people. In times like this, it is a revolutionary act to decide for ourselves what is right and wrong for us. From a place of self-ownership, we can come together to create communities working toward good things. This is a chance to make ourselves strong, to make our children strong, to help build those around us in the confidence of who they are and their ability to make good decisions and their rights to exist in this world. And we can do all of this when we know who we are and take possession of what is ours.
Che bello! Spettacolare! È stupendo! Si vede tutto poi.